All right. Let's get this out of the way first. The thoughts, views, and opinions expressed on Tailboard Talks Firefighter podcast are solely those of the speakers, guests, and host, and do not in any way represent the thoughts or views or opinions of any other employer, partnership, or sponsor. The material and information in this podcast is for general information purposes only and should be used at the listener's discretion. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. My name's Chris, and welcome to Tailboard Talks Firefighter podcast. Today, a little bit of a replay episode, and I'm actually bringing back a segment that Curt and I did all the way back in 2022, and that's a long time ago. It feels like forever ago, so much so that I almost couldn't remember what the topic was when somebody asked me about this just today, and went back and listened to it. I remembered this garnered a little bit of hate. A couple of responses came through. They were not quite happy with the way Curt and I answered this question. Came up because the person was saying, they actually told me that more people were unhappy about it than I even knew. And so I went back, listened to it, and I got to tell you, I wouldn't change too much about my answer, but maybe I'm off base here. Maybe Curt's wrong, maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? So I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. But here it is. We answered a total of 4 questions in the episode. And I skipped over those, so I don't know if our answers are any good to those, but I'm going to replay this segment here. It came from a listener question. There are a few different topics covered, so I hope you enjoy, but let me know either way. Let me know if you like it, don't like it. If you have a different idea on how you would handle this question, I'd love to hear it. As always, go to the website, go to the show notes page, go to my Instagram page, 4th Shift Firefighter, it's number 4TH Shift Firefighter, and check out Rescue One CBD. Hit the Buy Me a Coffee button to donate to the show. Check out Project Fire Buddies. Check out Fourth Frontier. All that stuff. It's all good stuff. And there's also some downloadable PDFs on the website. There's 4 free downloadable PDFs. There's a workout builder, the daily dose, the wellness ladder, and also the 14ish, which I think we're going to be running again soon. So check out that stuff. All right, here's the episode from way back in 22. Here's a portion of it. Hope you guys dig it. Let me know what you think. Talk to you soon. Adios. All right, so I have one more topic to hit on. This was a comment that was sent to me after let me scroll back on it. I think it was I can't remember the name of the sunk cost fallacy one. Did you listen to that one?
I didn't.
Okay, so here, I'll give you the synopsis. So just a few ago, we did this thing on the sunk cost fallacy, and essentially what it is you go to the movies and you buy your popcorn and your drink and you're sitting down and 10 minutes in, you're like, this movie's terrible and I don't like it. This sucks. But then you say to yourself, well, I drove here and I spent the money for the ticket and I spent the money on the popcorn and we're already sitting down, so I might as well just sit through the next hour and a half. So that's the sunk cost fallacy. And it's been proven wrong every single time. Like any time that you are doing something out of obligation, either to like quote unquote get your money's worth or well, we're already here, we might as well. That's always been proven to be a false investment, that your time and your energy is better spent doing the thing you want to do or just leaving that situation. So it's the fallacy of the cost you already sunk into it being worth it. So I got this message afterwards and it said, this just happened to me recently as to why I'm not going through medic school this year and why I won't get vaccinated. So here's two different subjects coming at me quick, right? So there's a lot in here. We can kind of break it down. And I said, well, medic school is good. It'll get you preference points. Vaccines are going to happen everywhere. And I would expect that to be a requirement for departments that are testing now. Like it's tough to put a mandate in for people there, but if you're going for a job in the fire service, don't be surprised if they require a COVID vaccine. So this person wrote back, the vaccine is not my biggest concern. If someone chooses to fire me because of not having it, that's their problem, not mine. I love this job, but it's been ruined for me a few times, and kind of going off some of your podcast topics, I don't want to keep doing something that I won't be happy doing for 25 years or feel like I'm just sticking out to please other people. Maybe that'll change in time, blah, blah, blah. So I responded to a few things on there. What's your knee jerk just hearing that message? The two main parts that I saw were vaccine's not my biggest concern. If someone chooses to fire me because of that, that's their problem, not mine. Obviously, this person doesn't want to get it. And then I love this job, but it's been ruined for me a few times. I'm not sure if I want to keep doing it.
I mean, it sounds like your problem if you get fired
That's
or not
exactly what I
hired.
wrote. That's exactly what I wrote. I said, it's absolutely your problem if you get fired.
Yeah. Um, I mean, it's the job is the job, and so it's like this place is paying you, and they're paying you under these conditions, and if one of their conditions is that you're vaccinated, then you have to decide if that's worth 75,000 or 50,000 or whatever that's going to be a year. And if that's not worth it to you, then that's your problem and not their problem. And there's going to be somebody next in line that's willing to take that for $50,000 a year. And there's going to be jobs out there that you can find that will pay you that money and they don't require that you get vaccinated. But um, yeah, to me, that sounds like a you problem and not the place of employment's problem.
Yeah.
Um, Sorry, do you want to hit that one, or do you want to move on to the next one?
No, that's what I wrote. I said, I said, yeah. So I answered the second part first, but I said also, if someone fires you for any reason, it's definitely your problem more than theirs. There's the endless line of people that are willing to take your job. And that's the truth. Like, I remember hearing when I was a part timer, like, you're not bigger than the job, and the fire service was around a lot longer than you. And not these weren't like directed comments. This was just letting us part timers know like what we're getting into, and that's true. This is a combination department this person's working at, so they have full timers and part timers, and yeah, if you think that you not being there is gonna like hamstring them in any way, besides them taking more time out of their schedule to replace you, I mean, I think that's just completely false. And I would expect most fire departments or cities at this point are going to require to change aside from the vaccine, the requirements are going to be continuously changing, and you're going to continuously have to evaluate if the values and how that city operates or that government operates is right for you. And if it's not, I mean, that does go into the sunk cost fallacy of like, then find somewhere else. That's fine. You shouldn't torture yourself at a place that you hate because you've spent time getting there. Totally understandable to leave, but also understand that the thing you're not happy with and leaving might be just the norm. And so then you have to make a bigger decision if this field is right for you. And again, that's your problem, not the fire service's problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's hit the second part there. Do you need it? And that was,
Yeah, hit me with that. Hit me with that one again.
I love this job, but it's been ruined for me a few times. And I don't want to keep doing something that I won't be happy doing for 25 plus years to feel like I'm sticking out to please other people.
Yeah. So for me on that one, first of all, this job's really cool. When you compare it to other things that are out there. And if you think that you've been in the fire service for a little bit of time and you're going to leave and go to a 9 to 5 and be happy, like you're wrong. Like you're going to be miserable. You're probably going to be miserable whatever job you go to.
Yeah.
Um, I think sometimes you just got to step back, and look at like the big picture of what you do and what you get to do, and then ask yourself if that's worth giving up because you think you're going to be happier doing something else is going to make you happier. And if you think so, like, by all means, go for it. But I'd be hard pressed to think that there's a job that uh, gives you the diversity of your day, and the ability to do some pretty cool stuff and get, most places, good benefits, and in some places a pension, to pay you the rest of your life. You know, challenge you to go back to a 9 to 5, and have to work for a living, and see if that's more fun, and more rewarding than what you're doing currently. It's just the old grass isn't greener on the other side. I think.
Man, so I had a similar answer, but I looked more at. I kind of got defensive about this one because it might just me being older and being in the fire service for a while, but I almost felt like who's this person with working part-time at this department who has a handful of years on, condemning the entire fire service because of their surroundings, and saying like, yeah, I got a couple jerks I work with, so now I don't like the fire service. And I kind of broke it down. I said, let me go back. Sometimes it can be pretty difficult to separate the job from the people in it. It's definitely a challenge to be in tough environments and not just think that the whole thing isn't worth it. the biggest thing that you said was the job was ruined for you. And I said, nobody can ruin it for you. You can ruin it for yourself because of other people. And I really do believe that. I mean, I reached out to another person that I know through Instagram, and she worked in California. She still does. So she's living in California, working on the beach. That's where her department is. She lives in the mountains. When you look at it at face value, it's like, how can this be any better, right? Like, this is the coolest setup you could ever think of. And then you talk to her, and she's like, well, I had these, there's X number of stations, and this station, I don't get along with really well, and I'm trying to, transfer to this station, and this is the dynamics. I'm like, that's where I work. Like, you're talking about, it's the exact same thing of like the same different circus, same clowns or whatever. She's describing people that she's met at both departments who she's either made friends with or clashed with. I'm like, I got one of those, and I got several of those guys. And so it goes to show you, like, you're gonna make your situation good or bad. You're gonna decide what you want out of it. But that takes a lot of personal accountability to say, these people I'm working with or these people that I'm dealing with aren't my favorite, but that doesn't ruin the job for me. You can make them ruin the job for you, but that's going to be a personal decision. If you really, really love this job enough, then nothing's going to be able to ruin it. And like you said, things will piss you off and set you back and make you feel stifled or frustrated, but it's not going to ruin it. And, to kind of go off what you're saying, if you think things piss you off enough to ruin the fire service for you, good luck in a business, man. Like, good luck in an office where you got nothing but time and not the ability to move away from people that piss you off, or get transferred away from them, or work on a different day completely as them and never actually have to see them. That's kind of how I will say. One.
Yeah, and I'll say too, and I feel like this happens at other departments too, but I think that there's kind of a career arc that happens where you get in and you get on a department, and you go to academy and you're super excited. You've learned a lot of stuff. All your calls are exciting that you go to because you've never done them before. And maybe like your first like 2 or 3 years are like that. Like, everything's cool. Then you start taking some classes and you learn some things, and you try and bring them back to your department, and they're just not ready to receive them for whatever reason. And then you like kind of bottom out. And I feel like maybe years like maybe 4 to 5 to like 8 or 9, you're like, this place sucks. No one listens to me. We do all the stupid things. And then you just have a decision at that point of like being like stepping back and going, all right, maybe it's not really that bad. Or you just stay down there, and at that point, world needs plenty of bartenders and whatnot. But like, I think most people are able to step back and go, you know what, like, this place, it's pretty good here. I got it pretty good. And then hopefully you can come out of that bottom that you're in. But as we know, some people just stay down there and then they make 20, 25 years out of it. But like, I think I don't know, do you feel like that arc kind of happens sometimes?
I think it can. It depends on how important you think you are, though. Like, if you go to these classes and you come back and say, hey, I learned this new ladder throw, right? And you believe it's better than what the department standard is. And the department looks at it and goes, yeah, it's good, but, thanks, but no thanks. Like, this is still our standard. That's your decision point of saying, like, well, I presented it to them and they made a decision, and, I might still use it, but I understand it's not going to be the standard. Or, how dare they not listen to me? I have this coveted information that can improve them. And I think that comes with just, time and maturity of understanding that, just not that you're not that important, but everybody's got a part of the puzzle to play, right? And just because it's happening now, and it's not happening now, or your idea got brushed aside now, doesn't mean that 10 or 15 years from now, it's not going to be extremely important to come back and play. And we got a lot of people that take the first no as a never and get their feelings hurt because of it, instead of going like, well, that didn't work. I wonder if I presented it incorrectly, or it wasn't clear enough, or I didn't show the value of it. So maybe I'll try again later. We get a lot of guys that get their first no and they're like, well, this place sucks because they won't listen to me. And obviously you don't care about your guys because I'm one of the ground floor guys and I'm telling you this and you said no. That's not the way it is, man. So I think that just comes with time. And I kind of had this conversation the other day with some guys about, I mean, it's a department specific topic, so I don't want to get too deep into it, but we have people that want to be in leadership positions with less than 7 years on. And I said, I'm not in favor of it necessarily, depending on the position they want to take, because you just don't know how to operate in our universe with that few number of years on. And I gave several examples of guys that don't know and don't have the time on to see the scope of how things move and operate. The person that said no to your project now is probably going to be gone within 10 years. Like, even if they hate you and they tell you, you will never get anything succeeded in this department while I'm here, you know how long that's going to be. Like, that's not forever. You can look at them and be like, cool, I'll see you in 8 years when you're not here, and then I'll get my thing done. So the longevity we have is it can be damaging because it feels like forever sometimes, but it's also a tool, because by the time you're in a position to make differences and changes and have some influence, you're going to be dealing with a completely different cast of characters. And but that's the only kind of way to get that perspective on it, is to be around for a little bit longer and see things that didn't go through. When Joe and I, so when we started researching battery powered combi tools, right? There was almost no hesitation to it at all. We asked to go to classes on them. We asked to have the vendors in. We asked for overtime to go check out all this stuff. They gave it to us. We gave a presentation on the ones we liked. They approved it. We bought 4 of them or whatever. Really no speed bumps in it. We got hate on by 2 or 3 guys who were like, I tried that idea 10 years ago and it didn't work. What's so special about you guys? Like, timing? Like, I don't know, dude. Like, I don't know. Right. I don't know why you didn't get yours passed. I don't know what the situation was. I don't know who you pissed off or why it didn't work, but it worked now. And thanks for having the idea 10 years ago. Now you got your thing. You have a decision to make. You can be happy it finally happened, or you can be pissed off that, these guys got it done and I didn't, and blah, blah, blah. And some guys went one way and some went the other way, but it's all going to be a personal decision how you're going to handle this stuff. But I mean, one thing you shouldn't do is make a decision 5 years into your career that you're going to regret 15 years later. And it takes a long time. If you make those decisions, you actually do have to wait for all those people to leave, and that can be excruciating. But if you have the maturity and the wherewithal to be a little more level-headed about it and understand that the role you play now isn't going to be the role you play forever, then that things are dynamic, man. They're going to keep changing. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that answered your question. That was long-winded. Just kind of got some ideas, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see how much that added out. We'll see how much of that was pertinent. That's it, man. Those are the 4 things. Those are 4 things to hit on. Anything else pop in your mind while we were talking?
No, I don't think so.
Beauty. All right, dude. Well, let's see. Buy me a coffee button's still up. It's been kind of dry recently, so we'll see if we can scam some coffee off people, and maybe next time we'll be in person and sharing some nitro cold brews and iced vanilla lattes.
Cha-ching.
Sweet.